All right, so we're going to talk about percent. So finding percent of a number. There's two different ways that you can find the percent of a number. You can write it as a fraction, or you can write it as a decimal. We're going to go over both ways. So to write it as a fraction, we have 3% of 500. Now, let's think about percents. If you take a test and you get every single question right, then you make a 100%. So 3% is 3 out of 100%. 3% out of 100%. Of, in math, when we see the word of, we know that means to multiply. So I'm multiplying 3 over 100 times 500. And anytime I have a whole number that I want to turn into a fraction, I just put it over 1. I give it a 1 for a denominator. So I have 3 over 100 times 500 over 1. So now I need to simplify before I multiply. I know that 500 and 100 are both divisible by 100. So that leaves me with 1 on bottom and 5 on top. And 3 times 5 is 15. My denominator, 1 times 1, just leaves me with 1. And I know if 1 is my denominator, I don't write it. So I turn my percent into a fraction by putting it over 100. And then multiply it by whatever number it's given me in the problem. All right, the other way that you can do it is you can write the percent as a decimal. So just like we did with 3 out of 100, 25% is also out of 100. So to turn that into a decimal, I'm going to divide 25 divided by 100. All that means is you take the decimal. If there's not a decimal, then the decimal's at the end of the number. And you move it to the left 2 places. So that gives me 25 hundredths. That's all you're doing when you're writing it as a decimal. So I've turned 25% into a decimal. That's 25 hundredths. Of means multiply 180. And now I'm going to multiply 25 hundredths times 180. Remember, when you're multiplying decimals, you do not line up the decimals. Just multiply like normal, and then move your decimal at the end. And we know that 25 hundredths times 180 is 45. So those are the 2 ways of how to find the percent of a number. You can write it as a fraction and then multiply, or you can convert it to a decimal and then multiply. Either way. All right, amount of change. So when we talk about the amount of change, it's how much something has increased or decreased. Maybe that's over time. Maybe it's a sale. Maybe it's how many yards in a football game. So we're talking about this change that's happening with numbers. So in order to find the percent of change, first thing you do is find the amount of change, or the difference, which means we're going to subtract. So for number 1, I have $2.95 minus $1.30. So in the 1970s, gas was $1.30. In 2010, it was $2.95. So I'm going to subtract those 2 numbers to get the amount of change. 5 minus 0 is 5. 9 minus 3 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. That's $1.65 over the original amount. So the original amount, it's either going to tell you the original, it's going to tell you the price before the sale. If you're dealing with years, you're going to look at the earliest year. So I'm looking at the 1970 price, and that's $1.30. So I'm going to put that on bottom. And I set that equal to percent over 100. So that's going to be equals, if I don't know what the percent is, and that's what I'm solving for, I'm going to use a variable. So I have $1.65, that's my change, over $1.30, that's my original, equals X over 100. That's like your formula to plug in to solve the amount of change. So now I'm going to cross multiply and divide. 130 times x is 130x. 165 times 100 is 165. Because when I multiply by 100, I move my decimal to the right 2 places. Now I have a one-step equation. So to solve this one-step equation, I'm going to divide by 130, or 1 3/10, on both sides. So I have 165 divided by 1.3, and that gives me this really long decimal. So for the purpose of this, I'm just going to round it to the nearest whole number. So it's going to be about 127. The unit is percent because I was solving for percent. And now we need to determine, is this an increase or a decrease? So if your original price, if it goes up to the new number, that's an increase. And if it goes down, that's a decrease. So for this problem, that's 127% increase. All right, number 2, a DVD player costs $280. It's on sale for $220. So the first thing I do is find the amount of change. 280 minus 220 is 60. The original cost of the DVD player is $280, and I set that equal to x over 100. So now I'm going to cross multiply and divide. 280 times x is 280x. 60 times 100 is 6,000. And I'm going to divide this by 280. So 6,000 divided by 280, and we're going to round this to 21. We'll just round it to the whole number. It's about 21%. Because it went down, that means it's a decrease. %, decrease. All right, number 3. The original is 10 yards and the new is 13 yards. So the first thing I do is find the difference. 13 minus 10 is 3. Put that over the original and set it equal to x over 100. Now I have a proportion, so I'm going to cross multiply. 10 times x is 10x. 3 times 100 is 300. This gives me my one-step equation, so I can divide by 10 on both sides. And that leaves me with 30%. It went up from 10 to 13, so that is an increase. 30% increase. And number 4, a radio is $20. It's on sale for $15. So the first thing we do is we subtract the two numbers. 20 minus 15 is 5. And we put that over the original price of 20 equals x over 100. So now I solve. 20 times x is 20x. 5 times 100 is 500 divided by 20, and that is a 25% decrease.